Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another episode of the hashtag
TFR
TFR Motivation Monday Zoom. We are Dr. Dondi and Marcy Nettles.
Hi,
Don't
guys.
ever get us confused. We are so excited that you are here, and we're embarking today on a 4-week, maybe more, depending upon the questions that come from you guys. But we wanted to know, what do you want more information on? What do you think some training is necessary on? So we asked and you answered. That's going to be the training for the next 4 consecutive weeks. So we're pretty excited about this. We've got 3 great questions today. We're going to give everyone credit for asking the question. So if you would like if you'd like to be called out and get credit, ask us a question. You can do that in the individual Facebook post that we made to all of your individual pages. If you have Marcy,
no. Let's change that. Let's not do that, because that means we have to go back to all of those pages. So how about put it in the comment section here on
there
Zoom,
you go.
or
That's
on
what I
the
meant to
team
say.
Facebook page, because then I can check 2 places instead of 7 or 8.
Right. And that's why I said, don't ever get us confused, because see, she has brighter ideas. She waits for me to get a little out there, then she'll refine it, because she thinks way quicker than I do. She can see, no, there's going to be problems with that. Reel it back in and display it the way it should have been. So thank you for that rescue, Marcy. So yes, if you would like questions about, or anything that you would like more training on, deeper understanding of, please put in the comments. We will make sure to go back and give you credit for them. So thank you very much for that. I was actually just seeing if you were really paying attention to what I was saying. So thank you for proving me that you do. I'm just kidding, guys. She just thinks way faster than I do, and is usually more critical on things like that, and understands how it should work out. So she's a long-term thinker. I'm like in the moment. So anyway, let's move on. So let's talk about this.
It really comes down to the fact that I like less work than more.
True. Work smarter, not harder. I get it. That's a universal principle. So let's talk about this Team Freedom Reigns YouTube channel.
Awesome. Right? And hey, before we do that, I just want to remind everybody, send out your text message reminders to those people that you want on this call. Also, if you're on the team Facebook page, just tag them in the comments so they know where to come back to watch this, so that they can get these answers that we are providing to the questions that you are asking.
Oh, no. Don't send it out there. Put it in the comments. That was good. That was good. See what happens when you think on the fly live?
Sorry, guys.
Sometimes
okay. All right. So you can catch all of the, the comedy and all of the goodness by going to the Team Freedom Reigns YouTube channel at any time as well. We record these every week and upload them to the Team Freedom Reigns the YouTube channel. So you can go and subscribe, make sure that you ring the bell so that you get notifications, and you get all the goods as soon as we upload them. Because again, you want to be first in hearing it, not being last. And we were talking about the Activate 2022 event before we started recording here. So if you guys aren't registered, it's really going to be an amazing event. You do not want to hear about it from somebody else. You want to attend this event. Okay. It's not just going to be a party. It's going to be a super freaking awesome experience, but it is going to be where you should be in June.
Yeah, because if you hear about it from someone else, that instantly means regret.
Yeah. Hey, and let us know in the comments if you guys are registered already. If you're ready, if you have any questions about that event, put those in the comment section too. And maybe at the end here, we can talk about that a little bit more. But let's go ahead and hop into what the next 4 weeks is going to be looking like. We put out this question to the leaders of our team, Pro 4s and above. And if you're not a Pro 4 yet, or if you're not even part of our direct team, if you have a question, or if you have something that you'd like to hear more about, put it into the comment section as well, so that we can help you with that, because we absolutely want to answer the questions that are at the tops of your minds, right? Or give you the training that you think that you need, or maybe point you to it, because there's a lot of training that's already out there. So we asked, and you guys answered in what it is that you would like to hear more of. So we're going to actually address 3 of those tonight, right?
Yeah. And to Marcy's point, if you're not part of Team Freedom Reigns, which is what we call our organization, that's okay. We love to help everybody, because that's one of the things that I've learned about LifeVantage culture, is that the people who really care about making a global impact will help everybody that asks them. And we want to be that kind of people. Marcy and I want to be the people that will help you if you need help. And because We are part, and this is another thing, that this is not the reason, but it is a reason for people that are motivated by money and motivated by making a difference and motivated by contribution. When you become an elite distributor, you actually get to participate in a small percentage of global revenue. So why wouldn't we help everybody in our entire organization as well as the entire company if it could lead to helping somebody, one, be better off financially, or two, be better off with their health, because activating products are better than supplementing products, and that's just a fact. So as Marcy said, we asked and you answered. So over the next 4 weeks, at least, if we get more questions, then we will extend it. We want to give you the information that you're asking for. So let's get into the first question. What do you think?
All right, here we go.
All right, so Kennelly asked this question: how do you know you need personal development, and how do you choose the topic to go work on? That's a freaking great question, because all of us at some point, whether we admit it or not, and the key is admitting, none of us are born with supreme, elite, or master quality network marketing skills. We all have to learn these skills.
Or life skills, or
life
parenting
skills, or any kind of
person skills, or friendship skills, or marriage skills, or any
True
of
that.
it, right?
We're going to
Any of
need
it.
personal and or professional development. So great question, Kennelly. So I guess the best way to start answering this question is by asking a question in response. So the question would be this: what do you want?
Yeah.
What do you really want? So what kind of personal development or professional development? Because that takes both. We're going to need some personal skills, like interpersonal skills, how to communicate, how to listen, how to be compassionate, how to be empathetic, how to be caring. And those are personal skills, which serve you well in the professional capacity of being a network marketer. But first, ask yourself what you want. And if you're not quite sure, maybe start with one of these 3 questions, or ideally all of them. First question: am I exactly where I want to be in my life? Ask yourself that question. And whatever the answer is, if it's yes, awesome, then maybe you've reached your plateau of personal development. But I bet if you challenge yourself, and I bet if you look around, you could find better use or a broader use of the skills that you already have developed, whether it's personal or professional or both. Or this question: what's not perfect in my life yet? I love this question, and I think it's probably Marcy's favorite. What do you think?
It is. It's one of my favorite. It's actually one of my favorite intro invite questions to prospects as well. And so why would we not ask it of ourselves? I mean, think about this. When you ask someone, hey, what's not perfect in your health right now? Yet, right?
Mm-hmm.
Or what's not perfect yet? Because when you put that yet there, it gives them the curiosity as to, oh, how can I increase this or make it better? So what's not perfect in your life yet? Because if it's not perfect or to the level that you want it to be, you absolutely can develop yourself so that you can develop what you want down the road. Because this is not just about right now, right? We're thinking about the future.
Right.
And if you stay the same as you are right now, you'll never get anything different in the future. So asking yourself these questions is really, really important. And when you're asking yourself these questions, I love the wheel that Tony Robbins used. It's the balance wheel, right? And so we've given you 6 different areas here: spiritual, relationships, physical, financial, contribution, recreation. If you just put a circle, draw a circle on a piece of paper and then cut the pieces of the pie so that there's 6 pieces, and then rate yourself from 1 to 10. It's like in how well you think you're doing in these 6 different areas of your life. So right now, think about that, and maybe even put it into the comment section. Where would you rate yourself on a scale of 1 to 10 in your spiritual life? Let us know in the comments, or in your relationships. Or how about your physical being? Meaning, do you need to lose a few pounds, or maybe get your body moving a little bit more, or maybe even drink more water? How about financial? On a scale of 1 to 10, where would you rate yourself? And then do that with contribution and with recreation as well. Now, what I love about this wheel is that as you fill out those pieces of the pie with the 1 to 10, 10 being on the outer edge of the wheel and 1 being at the very inner size of the dot, you're going to find that you might have some balance issues. And that if you tried to roll a vehicle or even a bicycle on that imbalance of your will, you know that you're not going to get very far.
Quite a bumpy ride.
Yeah. And so when we're talking about personal development, we really can't just pick one area. You really need to make sure that you're growing and developing in all of these different areas that encompass what your life is. Because without one of these things, you're going to have some difficulties in the others. I hope that makes sense.
It does. They're all interrelated because life is something that requires many different skills in many different areas. And so when you're talking about, say maybe you have a wonderful marriage or a wonderful relationship, and maybe your bank account has as many commas and as many numbers to the left of the decimal point that you want, but maybe your physical body is struggling. Maybe you haven't gone on a vacation in 10 years or longer. So you're going to see by looking at it this way and asking yourself these questions or looking at these specific areas of your life, where could you use more balance or fulfillment? Because here's something I know. If they say, and I don't know who originated the quote, but it says, all work and no play makes Jack a dull boy. So if you don't go on vacation, you're not contributing in areas that you want to, you start to get a shorter fuse, you start to become more agitated and angry, and you're probably not living as fulfilling of a life or contributing to others living as fulfilling of a life as you could. So great question, Kennelly. So where would you spend your personal development time, or how do you know you need it? Just by asking these questions. Are you where you want to be in life at this point? What's not perfect in my life? And here's one that I am victimized by. I would tell you all the time, who am I comparing myself to? So there's people that joined LifeVantage after me. I'll mention one specifically, Brandon Cunningham, who hit Pro 10 before me. And I realized I got into the disease that Marcy talks about, compare-itis. So I was comparing
to your hopes and
Brandon's success with my success. And if I didn't compare myself to Brandon, I'd be happy. I am happy as a Pro 9. We love being a Pro 9. Of course, we would love to be Pro 10. But I was looking at it and comparing myself to someone else. And we don't usually ever compare ourselves to people that have less than we do. We normally compare ourselves to people that have more than we do. And instantly doing so, we negate all the progress and all the contribution positive that we've made. And it's really very unfair. Because in my entrepreneurial experience, being a former chiropractor, I worked with a lot of unwell people that would come to me with physical ailments. Brandon had multiple businesses, was kind of probably came out of the womb as an entrepreneur. I was brought up in you go to school, you get a good job, you work at that job until you retire, and then you have a pension. That was my grandfather's model, my father's model, but my father broke the model and became an entrepreneur. I was somewhat reluctant, but my brother, we have the same biological parents. My brother has not a single entrepreneurial bone in his body and will be an employee to the day he dies. We have very different belief systems, but I realize in comparing myself to Brandon and his history of being an entrepreneur and mine not so much, or in a very specific capacity, it wasn't fair to me or Brandon. I was comparing my blooper reels to Brandon's highlight reels, and that's unfair to everyone who does that. And I try to now not do that as often as I would have a tendency to, and I find that it serves me because rather than saying, what is he doing that I'm not, what could I learn that he has already learned?
Yes.
What skills can I master that he has already mastered? And Tony Robbins talks about it, called modeling. If you want what someone has, whatever their success, their stature, their whatever they are, do what they do. And you'll get, as long as they've done it and in the same intensity that they do it and the same consistency and they do it, and you'll have what they have. And let's just be honest, network marketing is not rocket science.
No.
It's very simple in what the skills we need to learn, but it can be very difficult in the self-discipline part. And that's when I realized, and I apologize publicly to Brandon, that I never should have compared and thank God he's a wonderful leader. And when we learn the skills that he's already learned, then we'll get to the same place. So comparing yourself to other people, and therefore that's what you need to work on, may be okay, but if you're looking at it in a positive ways, I want what they have, I want to be able to contribute the way they're contributing, then by all means, go develop those skills, go work on those personal and professional skills. But if in comparing yourself to someone else makes you feel less than, and what's motivating you is you're feeling less than, that's not the right motivation. Turn that around to a positive.
Yeah, look at what you can learn from that person. Don't compare, but look at it as what questions do I need to ask them? Is, because most people that are successful are more than willing to give information. The thing is that you don't want to be an asshole either, right?
Yes.
That's an ASKHOLE, by the way.
Ask.
Okay. Asshole. And that means that you're always asking and you're always getting, answers or responses from people, but you never do anything about it. You never apply the information that they shared. So just, sorry, I just had to throw that in there. Don't be that. Okay. Don't be that. Okay. Does everybody agree with me? Can we like pinky swear here that you will not be assholes? Because that's the thing, is everybody wants to give you the information and the ideas and help you develop the skills. But if you keep asking and never apply what you are being given, then you're an asshole. And nobody likes those, right? They all stink.
That's right. So these questions, however you answer them for your own personal self and your own journey where you are in your business, will help you determine where you need to spend time on personal and professional development. So great question, Kennelly. Thank you for that.
It is. And the last thing I want to say on this is that you do not always need the same thing, right? Because as you learn and grow, and as you develop yourself and do this personal growth, you are going to be expanding yourself, which means you're also going to be expanding your borders of ignorance. Thank you, Master Pro 10 Rye Fry, for that analogy there, that as you grow yourself, inside and become more and learn more to where you're more proficient, then that gives you the opportunity to be open to learning more, just different things, right? So know that your growth cycle never ends. It shifts.
I think the quote was something, as your island of growth, or as your island continues to grow, your shoreline of ignorance does as well.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that. We'll have to get the real
You guys
quote,
got it, right?
It was a powerful, powerful thought.
Yeah, it is so good. So thank you so much for that question, Kennelly, because personal growth, your business will never grow bigger than you are. Your team will never grow bigger than you are. Your goals and dreams will always elude you unless you grow into them. Okay, so personal growth is absolutely a vital piece of this journey called life.
That's right.
Okay.
All right, next question. So Emmy asked, how do we learn more skills to attract and find new leaders and create action and speed to build our businesses? Great question. Skills are important. Attracting people that either are the leaders that you want to lead, or that are the kind of people you want to do business with. Sometimes having those skills, being able to utilize those skills to attract the people that you want, rather than the low-hanging fruit, as people use as an analogy, which is going to give you the action and the speed you want in your business. Great question, Emmy.
Yeah. So when I think about this, I think about the number one thing is remembering that you're part of a team, that you are not in business by yourself, that we do this together. We're here to support you in your growth and in building your business. But we need to broaden our mindset and understand that if we try to do everything by ourselves, then we'll probably get a lot of customers, but we won't be able to build a good business, right? And when we're thinking about saving the world, because we want everybody on our amazing products, how many people can you talk to by yourself? And how many people, if you grow a team of people sharing the same information, can you talk to? It's much more when you build a team than when you go after what Donnie was talking about, low-hanging fruit.
Yeah. One of the things about this question that reminds me of is something that Tony Robbins always says, is that you can get a bunch of knowledge, because some people say knowledge is power. Tony Robbins says, no, knowledge is not power. The application of knowledge, or taking action with that knowledge, is where your power comes from. Because it's one of the things about network marketing, and I will be completely transparent, because I'm talking to myself when I do trainings. I've been victimized this. What seminar can I take? What book can I read? What course can I take? What podcast can I listen to, and how to get new skills? But if you do nothing with them, they don't serve you at all. It turns self-development into shelf development. All that information stays on the shelf and doesn't get put into action. So great question, Emmy, because her entire question was formed around the action and the speed to build your business. So the answer to this and how we would recommend answering this is one, plug into the information that's out there that teaches those skills. Corporate, we have weekly, monthly, quarterly, and annual, and sometimes surprise special events like the Activate 2022. But our weekly Flip the Switch trainings every Tuesday, where you're going to hear from an elite or master distributor presenting the information, which is our opportunity. Or our monthly LifeVantage Academies, the third Saturday of every month, the monthly LifeVantage Academies, the quarterly Elite Academies, and our annual global convention. Corporate provides a plethora of training, not to mention all the training that comes with the LifeVantage YouTube channel or all of the resources in the app that we have, all the videos and blogs and pictures and all the stuff. We have so much training. One may even say too much. It's just a matter of what you choose to plug into. So either the corporate trainings, or what about your own team training, right?
So your own team, that can mean a lot of different things because we're Team LifeVantage, right? And like Dondi said, there's a lot of information out there. So what we want you to know is that there are different options for you to be able to plug into. Find something that resonates with you and how you want to build your business, because there's so many different ways, right? There's in person, there's over Zoom, there's social media. There are just so many different ways to be able to build this business. But what you need to do is you need to get in, make a decision, and then stay focused, right? You don't want to hop from leader to leader to leader to leader, or from skill to skill to skill, or what is it? It's the technique, from technique to technique to technique. Because if you keep doing that, all that does is breed confusion for yourself. It breeds confusion for the people that are part of your team as you start building your team. And the thing that we know to be true 100% is confused people do nothing.
Right. So good.
Right.
That's such a great point.
And so once you connect with the way that you're going to build your business, and we have more questions that are going to be coming in the next couple of weeks that are going to help dive deeper into this, just know that you need to connect with how you want to build your business and be determined, have a decided heart, and stay there. Okay. Build your business and be consistent. So team trainings, again, there's so much out there, but there's something for everyone. That's the beauty of this. Yeah. So important. And then outside resources.
Yeah. And kind of back to number two, as far as team trainings and changing and constantly modifying before you go out. And it's easier to take a system and stick with it and just do it over and over and over. Because what Marcy is talking about, when we change things all the time and we're constantly trying to get new skills, it gets very frustrating because we don't stick to something long enough to bear fruit. It's kind of like watering a little seedling. And then when, 2 weeks later, when it's not a tree bearing fruit, we pull it out and plant another one.
Right.
So you got to give it time. You have to be consistent. You have to be patient, and you have to have duplication, because people can't duplicate something that changes all the time. And I am speaking to the choir, because I victimized myself and our team in doing just that, constantly trying to improve upon something. I remember changing presentations every week, adding a new slide or a new approach. And it's one of the most self-destructive, frustrating things you can do for your business is constantly change things. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I don't know who said that, but it was pretty awesome because it's true. So now the outside sources, there's plenty of seminars. So whatever skills you need to attract the people that you want, and I may want somebody different than someone else. Somebody may want seasoned network marketing professionals that have been in the business before, have reached a level of success, but they're no longer with a company and they're looking for a new home. You may not have the skill set to attract that kind of person. Somebody else may want the person who's just fed up with their boss and the 9 to 5, and they're looking for a side hustle to go create a new income stream on that could be a new profession. That takes a different kind of a skill set to attract that kind of a person. So whatever kind of a person you want to attract, identify that, and then go to seminars, read books, listen to podcasts, take an online course, whatever it is that's going to give you the skill you need or that you're looking for to attract the kind of person that you're wanting, so that the action and the speed of building your business just naturally follows suit.
Yeah, and it really does come down to being the leader that you would want to be or to follow. Yeah, exactly. So it's the example that you're setting yourself. So when we're looking here and where it says keep an open mind and an open heart, never assume you've heard it before. I mean, how many LVAs have we attended? How many premier schools? How many elite academies? How many conventions? It's like we go to all of them, guys, and we never go into it with the mindset that, oh my gosh, it's just going to be another 4 hours of the same information. No, because if we did that, then we're already creating a block inside of our psyche that is not going to allow any new information to come in. And that new information may be exactly what you need to hear right at that moment. Or guess what? The same old information may hit you exactly in the new right way because you've been doing some of this personal development. You've been growing yourself. And once you change a little bit on the inside, other things that start to come into you will sound different. You'll receive it differently, and it will fit in to the puzzle in the exact spot that that piece is supposed to be. So you can't keep the old mindset going into new trainings, right? So you need to renew your mindset every single time that you're going to one of these trainings, and know that the leader would follow is a leader that's in action. Okay, because we have so many skills that every single one of us bring into this opportunity before we even get started. And if you've been in LifeVantage for, a couple months or even 6 months or a year or, 13 years and 11 years like us, then you have already been given new skills that you have just waiting for you to apply them. Because just like what Dondi said previously, is that, those skills not applied are just going to be on the shelf gathering dust, right? So get in action, speed of the leader, speed of the team. And that is how you light fire on your team, is being on fire yourself.
True that.
Yeah.
Be the leader you'd follow. That's right.
You
would follow.
The
crazy part about that is I hate misspelled words, especially when I make them.
That's why I have to make a big deal out of it. Yo, man. All right, so let's go on to question number 3 here. Where is it at? Oh, why is I don't want that paused. Resume share. There it is. All right, so let's go down here.
All right.
So Barbara and Michaels, go ahead.
So what does it mean to be all in? And how does that look different for different people? Or does it generally look the same? Great question. In fact, this is a question that I was surprised to receive, but it's a deep, deep question. And for someone like Barbara is very analytical. So what does it mean to be all in? We hear you got to be all in. You got to show up every day. You got to do your DMO, your daily method of operation. You got to be consistent. What does being all in mean? Does it mean the same thing for everyone, or is it different based on different people and their different needs? Great question, Barbara.
Yeah, and it's completely different.
So what does it mean to be all in? Now, I'm not a poker player, but that's what it looks like, I guess, when someone goes all in. So it really, really, really depends on the individual person. What is your why? Why did LifeVantage appeal to you so much that you joined and became part of the LifeVantage crowd, LifeVantage family? What was it?
Yeah.
So what is your why? What is motivating you? What is driving you? Or
what is your
end game?
Right? So do you want to make $500 a month? And that is your end game. If you will be perfectly happy having that supplemental income of $500 a month. That, compared to someone that has looked at our income disclosure statement and sees what a Master Pro 10 or the eventual presidential Master Pro 10s will potentially be making, and they're like, that's me. That's what I want. That's what I am going to work towards, no matter how long it takes. So when you're looking at those two different ends of the spectrum, then it's obviously going to look completely different to be all in. Right.
And I don't remember where I heard this from. It was probably Eric Worre. But when you look at your monthly income down to the dollar, whatever amount of that check that you receive, that's how many lives you're helping or contributing to on a grander level. So if you're making $500 a month, you're helping 500 people live a leveled up life. Or if you're making $100,000 a month, like a Master Pro 10, the only difference between someone making $500 a month and someone making $100,000 a month is how many people are being blessed and helped by what they're doing, their collective approach. Now, none of the Master Pro 10s are individually helping 100,000 people a month, but their entire organization is. And as a result, because they're at the top of that organization, they make that kind of money. So what it means to be all in really depends on what is your end game? What is your desire? What are you wanting to accomplish or financially get out of it yourself? And if you look at it financially, please look at it as lives impacted.
Yes.
Because some people will go, I don't want to make $100,000 a month. Then all of my broke friends are going to be asking me for money, and all they look at that as problematic. But if you look at it, well, what if I gave 90% of it away? I could still live on $10,000 and help 100,000 people a month. Look at it that way. There's always ways to tweak it depending upon what all in means for you. What is your end game? Or
what are you passionate about? Yeah. So maybe you are the type of person that is completely passionate about changing people's health and wellness, their longevity, right? And how well they live for a long period of time. Or maybe you are passionate about your 9-to-5, right? We need people out there that are passionate about the things that they do to create their livings, right? Nurses, doctors, police officers, soldiers, and everybody else. If you're passionate about the job that you have where you're providing value, awesome. But that will determine what your I'm all in looks like here in your LifeVantage business. And there's what's your excuses versus your reasons. Somebody that's all in will look at things as being excuses or somebody that's not all in compared to somebody that is all in will look at it as being the reasons why they need to be building their business, right? Again, it's going to be a mindset shift in the way that you look at things, whether you have an obstacle come up, like your child care falls through. And so it makes it harder. You have to take the kids to a presentation that, which is fine, but it's not the way you wanted it in the first place. But okay, so the reason I've got to build this business is so that this is never an issue for me ever again, right? The reason, it needs to become the reason, not the excuse.
Right.
Yeah. So, and then beliefs are huge.
Yeah. And on the excuses versus reasons, if back in the 13 years ago, when I first saw the LifeVantage opportunity, if I got into this because I had a newborn at home and a 3-year-old at home that I never saw. But I can't tell you how many times I've heard somebody says, well, I have kids at home and I never see them. I have no time to build this business. And I would say that's interesting, because that was the exact reason I chose to build this business, and I changed that reality. Now I have plenty of time to spend with them. What are you doing to buy your time back? Yeah. It's just a matter of priority, or what kind of perspective you put on either your excuse or your reason, because some people's excuse was my exact reason. Yeah. And it's just a matter of what you want, which goes to the question above. What is your end game desire? But yeah, to your point, what do you believe or not believe? Belief is everything. It's why it's one of the 4 pillars of this entire success principle here with LifeVantage or any network marketing business opportunities. What do you believe? Yes. Beliefs shape everything that you do.
So do you believe in our products? Do you believe in this profession? Do you believe that our science is real? Do you believe that our compensation plan works? But I would say that the most important thing here is, do you believe in yourself? Are you worthy? Do you believe that money can work for you? Do you believe that money is yours to be had and it's okay to have it? Your beliefs will really form the way that you look at everything and will determine whether or not you go all in or not. So it's really important, and it goes right back to that question number 1 about personal growth. If you have a lack of belief in a certain area, like you always have something in the back of your mind saying, well, why do you think that you could be successful doing this? You know, you had this person, and this person in your family that tried it before and it never worked for them. So why do you think it's going to work for you? You know, if you have that kind of stuff going through your brain, it's going to affect whether or not you go all in or not. And it's also another great reason why it's so important to be cognizant of when you need to go into personal growth mode. It's a big deal.
Big deal.
And then how bad do you want it will determine, and how soon do you want it will determine how your I'm all in looks like, and whether or not you're willing to change the beliefs that you have that determine what actions you take, all the way around here. But, you know, talk about what phase you're in your business.
Okay, absolutely. Before that, I want to use just an example of how you guys can use our income disclosure statement when it goes, how bad do you want it, and how willing are you to change your beliefs? So if somebody says whatever the financial desire, whatever their end game is, if you see what it is on our financial or income disclosure statement, our average monthly income for whatever rank, have them pick a number. And if they look all the way to the right, which the average time it takes, then that will put it in perspective. If they want to make $15,000 a month, but they're not willing to put in 36 to 48 months to get there, then this probably isn't for them, or they need to change their belief about something. Are they willing to change their belief, or are they willing to step up how much they want it? Because that's one of the things that people have. And we have a very clear-cut cycle of our income disclosure statement, how much money we can make at the average rank and how long it takes to get there. Please utilize those in combination to help people decide what they're willing to change their beliefs on, how badly do they want something. Now to the what phase of your business are you in? Because in the beginning phase where you're inviting and enrolling, being all in the inviting and enrolling phase is taking every opportunity you can to share our opportunity with somebody. So if you're in phase one, that inviting and enrolling, all in means every spare moment of time you're inviting and enrolling. Now, on the topic of spare time, you have to first look at your non-negotiable things like date night, like your church, if you have a church, if you have weekly things that are involving your family or your faith or people special, put those in the calendar and do not build your business during those times. You don't want to pit them against each other, because the people on the non-negotiable time will start to resent you and your business. We've seen that happen so many times.
And you'll start feeling guilty.
Yes.
And if you feel guilty about something, you're not going to do it.
Right. And the other is you have your non-negotiable time or your semi-discretionary time. When you're watching Netflix, could you just put it on pause and go make a few invites? Go put it on pause and go follow up with a couple people and get some people enrolled. Send them an invite link. In the inviting and enrolling stage, that is going to be all in. All in, if you're watching Netflix, you're not all in. It's just a matter of how you prioritize your time. But when you're in the next phase of training people, teaching and so inviting and enrolling, teaching and presenting is phase two. Once you have enough people in your organization to teach them how to invite and enroll while you're presenting the information to their prospects, now what does it mean to be all in? Well, you're still inviting and enrolling, but now you're doing presentations for other people. Now you're answering questions for your people's prospects. That's what being all in, where you're not doing that in the phase one of inviting and enrolling. And then the third phase, where you're actually training and mentoring your people. That's a different level of all in. You're actually you're answering life questions. People sometimes have life on them. And it's like, this is what's happening in my life. How do I continue to, number one, stay positive? And how do I continue to make invites when I'm feeling like crap? Well, that's where the mentoring and training comes in. So being all in depends on what phase of business you're in. If you're growing your business, if you're teaching and presenting, if you're training and mentoring, and then the latter part of that phase is either managing what you've established, or now you're mentoring your mentors who are training and teaching and training the people that are presenting to the people that are inviting and enrolling. So all in for a Master Pro 10 looks totally different for an independent distributor up to Pro 3. So it depends. There is no one answer for everyone. It's just when you look at all of these questions to ask yourself first, it really depends on how you answer them, on how you utilize your time effectively to be all in.
Yeah. So basically what you need to do is, first of all, decide what do you want? What is your why? And then decide whether or not you're 100% determined and committed to achieving that why. And then you can look at, okay, so if it's 500 a month, how many relationships do I need to develop? Adding new people to your names list every single day, developing those relationships, and then doing new invites every single day, right? And then we need to move into the presenting the information, sharing your story, the company's story, and how we make money. That's a presentation. Then making sure that you're following up with those people that have seen the information, in a consistent manner. We don't want to let anybody fall out of your loop or out of your funnel until they are either a really hard no, which we generally don't ever get really hard no's. We get not right no's, right? Or until they've said yes, either becoming a customer or becoming a business partner. And then making sure that you're adding value, you're making sure that they understand how to get started correctly, with plugging in all the stuff that we talked about today, plugging into the events, the team trainings, and then launching them with their own launch and presentations. Keep in mind, in the beginning, you don't answer any questions. You just share the information and invite. Let those people that are in other areas of building their business be the tools for you. You don't want to be the tool. You want your team to be the tool, okay? Or utilize the amazing assets that have been provided for us in video form, in the FAQs, it's our websites. We have so much that the company has provided to us now that you need to decide what your all in is going to look like. And then the most important part after you've determined what you want is to commit to it and to do it consistently. Because if you do it more frequently than not, you're going to accomplish so much more than if you just don't do it or do it haphazardly.
Mm-hmm. And one of the things that I want to kind of put this on an emotional scale or emotional reference here, you may, if you're feeling overwhelmed, frustrated, burned out, you're too much all in. You're doing something out of sequence.
If you're not having fun,
to Marcy's point, if you're answering everyone's questions rather than sending them the FAQ about the product they asked about, or rather than sending them the video from the app that it goes along with answering the questions, what's going to happen is you're going to be overwhelmed. You're going to get burned out. And this is a very common practice in the Pro 4 through Pro 6 ranks. It's when I was never more stressed out than I was at Pro 4, Pro 5, and Pro 6, because I felt like being all in meant doing everything and answering every question. You just cannot do that. No. You cannot duplicate yourself that way. So use the tools. And all in, you may think you're all in, but if you're feeling overwhelmed, burned out, and frustrated, you need to change some priorities. Start delegating or pointing to the answer rather than giving the answer. And we have a plethora. If you guys are Three Amigos fans, we have a plethora of information in all of our resources, from your self-replicating website to the app, to the LifeVantage YouTube channel, to all your own information. So we have a plenty of information. If you're feeling overwhelmed and you're that's your definition of all in, you need to throttle something back and start delegating and pointing rather than being the go-to person, because also what you do duplicates. There may be up and coming leaders, right? Or replicates. You may have up and coming leaders that are just waiting to get into your business, but they're watching how overwhelmed you are and all of the things you're doing, and they're going to go, I can't do that. I don't want to do that. And they go into the witness protection program. So keep in mind, if you are excited and you're all in, people want that. If you're burned out, frustrated all the time and all in, people aren't going to want to do that. You need to start delegating, start pointing, and start utilizing your resources. And it's a great opportunity to shift your people to your upline. Start introducing them to your upline leaders and having them take some of that responsibility. Another great lesson I had to learn the hard way. Thank you, Blue Elam, for that lesson.
Yeah. So decide what you want out of this, and then what you're willing to do. Okay. So I know that it's been a constant, from the whole time that we've been part of this amazing company, is to do 15 presentations or more a month, right? And absolutely, that is what we should be focusing on, especially if we want to build a big business or a larger business with LifeVantage. It will take more than that to get to the high elite ranks and to the Master Pro 10. It will take more than that. But if you're wanting $500 a month, maybe 5 presentations a month. But if that's where you're at, you need to make the decision, you need to commit to it, and then let somebody else know that that's what you're committed to, and then do what you say you're going to do, right? Plug into all the trainings and let the team help you. Right?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Anything else here?
Just thank you guys for being on here. Give us more. If you have additional questions, if you have something else you want information on, please put them in the comments below, because we want to make sure, one, that we're meeting your needs. 2, that you're feeling supported the way you should feel supported, because all of you, this is one thing we need to realize. We are all a volunteer army here at LifeVantage. Some of us volunteered reluctantly, or we did it as a favor to somebody so they'd stop nagging us. And some of us looked at this as the greatest opportunity in the world, and they couldn't wait to save up the money to jump and be all in. Whatever that is, realize all of us are here voluntarily. Nobody wants to report to a boss in a network marketing opportunity, and nobody wants to have people, their employees that they're feeling responsible for, they have to nag all the time. So keep in mind that we want to provide the information that you're looking for that will help you be a better, more successful, more influential leader here in the LifeVantage family, so you can have a greater contribution to the world. So questions that you have, information that you would like us to train on, or things you'd like deeper understanding of, please put in the comments below so that we can meet your needs and give you the information and the knowledge and the wisdom and the skills that you're looking for, because that's our passion. That's our end game. That is our motivation, to empower and inspire as many leaders as possible so they can go out and contribute in their spheres of influence and level them up from a health perspective, financial perspective, or both. And we can't do that without all of you. So thank you for giving us that opportunity to scale and to level up this with a great family like you guys. So let us know what we can do to help you. Put it in the comments below.
Yeah, and if you don't have time today to come up with your question, something I would suggest, and being a leader, what we want to do is we want to make sure that we point towards resources, right? So make sure that if you have a question, that you check the frequently asked questions underneath the products, if it's a product question, or that you go to the Team Freedom Reigns YouTube channel and look through the previous TFR calls to see if it's already a subject line of a topic of a previous call. Because if it is, utilize that. We don't need to rehash if the information is already there. Because the thing is that if we continue to go over and over the same trainings, then we're utilizing our time in a way that's not building our business and not being the example that we should be to each one of you. And remember, the speed of the leader is the speed of the pack. And so we all want to make sure that we are doing the actions that are going to help us all be speeders.
That's right.
On fire, right? On fire. Absolutely. So guys, thank you so much for joining us tonight. We appreciate you. Thank you to those that asked the questions that we answered tonight, and looking forward to answering the questions in the next few weeks for those that are coming in and the ones that we already have. So thanks for being here with us, guys.
Absolutely. You're all amazing.
Yes. God bless you.
God bless. See you next week.